Hey you guys, this is crazy, but it works. I'm gonna take this piece of cherry and turn it into this piece of cherry. Now, that's a big difference. I was able to age this piece of cherry in 5 minutes, make it look like it's been 30 years old. Now, if you do not know this, cherry does darkens with age, and most woods, most light woods, they darken with age, and the darker woods, they actually lighten with age. Now I'm going to show you how to quickly age your cherry. You see, this is the original piece, look like that. It was just like this one. It's the same board. I cut it in half, and then I aged this side to show you how it's done. And I mean, look at that. And it took 5 minutes. So easy. And the result, it's beautiful. Let's go right into it. Here is our board of cherry, just a small board left over from a cutting board. And first thing we need to do, you guessed it, we need to sand it. Now this is a small board, so I'm not even gonna pull out my sander. I'll just use a hand sander. And you wanna start with 120, go all the way to 220 grit, because this is not gonna turn into a real project. I'm just doing it for demonstration. I'm just gonna go with 180 and 220, just to, soften it a little bit. So let's do that first. All right, now it's time to remove the dust out of your workpiece. You can use a damp cloth, you can use whatever you want. I'm just gonna vacuum it really quick. Now, if you do decide to vacuum your piece, make sure you have one of these brush attachments to your vacuum, because you don't want to scratch your piece. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut this in half, just so we have a half reference, so we know what we started with. And yep, I'll cut it in half with a chop saw, and then we'll get to age it. All right, here's our two pieces, came from the same board. And what I need to do now is raise the grain. So I'm going to spray with some water. I'm going to use this bottle it's like hairdresser bottle, a very fine mist. I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested in getting one of these bottles. And what I will do, I will just spray my board, let it sit until it dries, and then we'll come back for the next step. Just like that, not too crazy. We'll let it dry, then we'll come back to it. My board dried, or mostly dried. And now we need to knock out the grain again, so we have to sand it again with 220. So again, just quick little sanding. Our board is sanded, and now here is where the craziness begins. I'm going to spray my board with an oven cleaner. I'm gonna use Easy Off. Now hold on, don't click out the video yet, because I'm not gonna ask you to put Easy Off on your piece of furniture. We'll talk about what chemical in this product reacts to the tannins in the wood and what makes it age. Now, if you do decide to use Easy Off, there are two versions of this. There's the yellow can and there's the blue can. The blue can does not work. You have to have the yellow can. Now there's a chemical in this oven cleaner. It's called Lye, L-Y-E. And you can buy that. I'll put a link in the description below. You can buy it on Amazon. It's cheap. It's like $17, I think, for two decent sized containers that will last you a lifetime. And you can also probably find it at, any kind of hardware store near you, or even grocery store, I don't know. But I'll put a link of that in the description below. And lye is in a form of salts, so it's crystals. And if you do purchase it at your local store and don't use my link in the description below, make sure it's 100% lye. And lye, it's actually used to clean drains. kind of like Drano, but Drano is the trademark for it. But like I said, when you buy it, make sure there's no other things in it. It's just lye. The can that I'll put down, it will say on it 100% lye. And like I said, it's for cleaning drains, and you can take those crystals. You take 1 teaspoon and 8 ounces of water. Make sure you put the water first in the cup and then add the salts, otherwise it will react too quickly and some bad things will happen. So water first, put a teaspoon of those salts, mix it in until it dissolves, and then you can brush it on your piece of wood to age the wood. Now, do not use more than 1 teaspoon. If you put, for example, 4 teaspoons, what happens is when you dip your brush in it to, brush it on your piece of wood, and you lift the brush from the solution, you will see it has no hairs because it eats away the hairs. It's a caustic, I think that's how you pronounce it in English, caustic. It's a very strong acid, like a chemical, and it will, eat your hairs on your paintbrush. It will also not feel nice on the skin, so make sure you wear gloves, use eye protection. You do not want to, splash that in your eyeballs or something. So, but for this demonstration, I'll be using the Easy Off because I have it in my house, and also make sure you use a respirator if, that'll make you feel more comfortable. I'm not going to use a respirator just because I don't use a respirator when I clean my oven. But I will be using gloves, and I'm gonna go into my basement utility sink. I'm gonna put that board in there, and I'm just gonna spray it with this Easy Off. And I will let the camera running so you can watch it in real life, how the reaction is happening and how quick it darkens. So let's go do that. And then after it darkens, I'm gonna completely wash this with water, because I want to neutralize it and stop the process. Also, I want to get off whatever this thing is. I want to get it off my wood. So let's go do that, and then we'll come back to see what the next step is. Now here is what our cherry looks like. It's still wet. I just washed it, as you saw. This is the back of it. This is our original piece. That's darker because it's wet. This is what it looks like here. I'm gonna go blow dry this thing just because I don't have the patience, and then we'll apply a finish on it, see what it looks like. All right, I went and blow dried this piece. This is the comparison now when it's all dry. So that's the back of it. This is the part that we aged. What I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna lightly sand with 400 grit on the top. I've tried this before with 220 and that one worked fine too. So just lightly sand the top to make it really nice and smooth. And give it a little wipe. And let's apply some finish, see what these things look like with the finish on. Now for the finish, I'm just gonna rub in some of this walrus oil. I really like this for furniture. I think it's a very nice finish. So let's put some on. Look how rich and pretty that color is. Wipe off the excess. And let's see. Look at the comparison, you guys. And that was like 5 minutes. Again, here they are side by side. I hope this was useful to you and you learned something new. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Skylar Ewing and I'll see you in my next video.